Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for a movie review, and I will get to some other track reviews, and who knows, maybe a live stream later on if I decide to. Um, I gotta see what I'm doing the rest of the day, so I'll let you know what happens with that live stream if I have one coming out. So, this is for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that I did actually buy yesterday or the other day when I got my paycheck. So basically, I'm going to discuss what I watched for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 for this 2023 movie and let you know my thoughts on this movie. So let's dive into this movie review. Now, basically, this all revolves around the character Rocket in this whole movie because uh, he had a pretty horrible past because he got taken from his mother and his brothers and sisters when he was still a little raccoon, and it was pretty sad through most of the movie. But then it starts showing a little bit of unsad things, and some jokes were in from time to time in this movie, but their main focus through most of the movie was trying to make sure Rocket didn't die, and he had like some kind of kill switch on his heart in this movie, and pretty much the premise of this movie was spot on, pretty good. I was starting to cry at a certain scene in this movie where it was like maybe 3/4 of the way done in the movie, and there was a certain scene where he met his old time friends that he grew up with, uh, unfortunately, in his shitty past, and the science experiment place where this certain guy or whatever is like trying to experiment on him and his other lackeys too, and this is where the Guardians have to really team up and mostly stop this madman. Mostly, um, the guy, the golden guy or whatever, with the thing on his head. He was the enemy at the beginning, and then he later became one of the Guardians of the Galaxy later on in the film, like at the very end post-credit scene. He starts figuring out who he really is, so he attacks Rocket at the beginning of the movie for a certain reason because this other guy, robot guy or whatever, I can't think of his name to be honest, but he's pretty much the villain in the movie. And I think the premise of this movie was spot on, pretty good. Would I say this is my favorite movie this year? I think it's really good. It had me at some emotional points where I just started crying a bit at a certain scene, like I said, where he met his old friends back in his past that he really cared for, and then this guy killed his friends, um, which is pretty sad to see that specific scene. But most of the movie revolves around Rocket and Quill and them trying to save him, and then later on, it gets into a point where Quill just, I don't want to spoil what happens at the end, but he decides to leave the Guardians. If you've seen this movie, you know what happens. The very end of the movie. It is a 2.5 hour movie, but I think it's well executed with this film. Great way to end the series. I don't know if they're going to be doing any more spin-offs for this Guardians movie, but I don't even know if they should, to be honest, because it had a pretty good ending to this trilogy. So, I think this was a pretty good movie, a really good movie in my personal opinion. I was pretty amazed with the cinematography in this movie, and the action scenes are pretty badass as always. There's some jokes that Drax gets in, Dave Bautista's character, and certain scenes in the movie, and it kind of made me laugh a few times. But this movie had a lot of heart and compassion to it, and some emotional feels too. Emotional points in the movie where it will make you cry, but towards the end of the movie, it starts getting a little bit better, where there's not too much emotional scenes, and you see that Rocket is really trying to do better and just do the right thing and try to stop this guy, which he makes a choice later on in the film, which you'll see at the end credits. So overall, in my opinion, I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was a really good movie. If I were to give this movie a score, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. This was a really good movie, in my opinion. Like I said, had a lot of heart and compassion and some emotional feels in this movie, where it's going to make you very emotional at certain moments in the movie. But this movie was pretty good, and great way to end the movie franchise for the Guardians movies. Unfortunately, I feel bad for Australia and New Zealand because this is their last movie they're getting for physical media, which really sucks for Disney to do that, but let's hope it doesn't happen anywhere else, which you never fucking know because people are sticklers about that, but hopefully it doesn't happen at all. And Hollywood makes and Disney makes the right decision to not do it in the UK and everywhere else, even the US too. So basically 9 out of 10 for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This was a pretty heartfelt movie, and I really enjoyed this movie. I'm glad I purchased it the other day. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching.